Hello, magical soul. Happy last day of July. How did we get to the last day of July already? It is a 10 of Hearts day. So if today is your birthday, happy birthday to you. 10 of Hearts, big love energy, big expansion. All 10s represent expansion and the heart, just love. And you're a Leo if it's your birthday today. So you are a double down of that energy. Welcome. My name is Andrea Blythe. I'm the traveling Magi of Let Love Rise. And what's really special for me at this time of year is that 3 years ago, I launched officially my business as Let Love Rise. Again, 3 years ago, I was a high school teacher and I loved the work that I did there at the high school. It's my lifelong profession. I've always enjoyed teaching. I mean, I knew from a very early age that I wanted to teach, and it's literally encoded in my cards, which is kind of wild. As a 4 of Spades birth card, I had the teacher's card, the 10 of Clubs, as my first karma card, meaning that in this lifetime, I am called to give my energy into what is represented by the first karma card. So for me, I am here to give my energy to teaching. And I've always loved being in the classroom. It was a pure joy for me. But when everything shifted in the pandemic, as you all know, 2020, what happened there? Well, my whole world just totally dismantled in ways that I am still like, wow, did I go through that? Did I really experience all that? And that's often how life is. And not just, looking back on the retrospective of 6 years ago, and then, the internal shift coming inside of me, like just everything felt like teaching in a public setting in public high schools was no longer what my soul was yearning for. It was yearning for some deep, deep healing. First and foremost for myself, and then how to share that with the world, because I think that is, again, a natural blueprint of mine, again, with this karma card of the teacher's card for my life path. And so it was, it started with the writing of Let Love Rise, the blog itself, that was launched in 2021, but it would take me a couple of years before I was like, am I really going to do this? Am I really going to take the leap of faith and go from a steady, stable job, a career truly in a dream position, which it all was. I'm a 4 of Spades, very anchored in security. And it was crazy just to say like, yes, my soul wanted something more. And so I took that leap. And on August 1st, which is tomorrow, I led my first official moon circle for Let Love Rise. And it was under the full Aquarius moon. And just 2 nights ago, or was it yesterday? Gosh, I don't even know where we are. Got to share the 3-year anniversary, the celebration, the rising, full moon rising experience. And it was wildly profound. And part of my work these days is to share stories, because we connect through stories. We see ourselves reflected in each other's stories. And what I have behind me is a little trip down memory lane of year 1, year 2 of some of the creations that I've done with Let Love Rise, some of the retreats, the rising of the warrior goddess, some of, stepping into the wisdom of the Magi soul purpose activation. I did that. This is year 3, the gifts of the Magi Masterclass soul purpose, upcoming, align with your soul purpose. And it's just kind of been a wild retrospective. And I felt really, really honored to gather with the Joyful Soul Circle and members of the greater Boise community on Wednesday night under the full moon. And what I shared there is the heroine's journey, or the hero's journey, or as we were giving it a non-binary term, the thunder journey of going through, where are you in your life? I simplified it down into 4 parts. And this actually emerged from this workshop that I led last summer called Write Your Warrior Goddess Story, where you take like the whole picture of the journey and breaking it down into the call, what are you being called into? And that call for me in 2023 was to get beyond the borders of the classroom. Like it was confining me, it was constricting me. And also, as a newly divorced, single, autonomous woman responsible for my own financial well-being and that of my family, there was also a limitation that unfortunately school teachers, public school teachers are limited. You know exactly how much you're going to get, how much you're going to earn, and it doesn't matter how fantastic or non-committed you are to the profession. Like, here's what you're going to get, and here's what you're going to get next year, and here's what, and all of that. The capping was just not. I was like, well, if I'm going to work this hard, I might as well work this hard where there's possibility to infinite abundance. And so that was part of that leap, but I was feeling called into something greater. And so, the question that we reflected upon in the moon circle is, where in your life are you exhausted from holding it all together for everyone else? Or what is the call of your soul that you're ready to embrace? So that's part one, is the call. And part two is the initiation. And holy crap, this is where, what do they say? There's you pound the pavement, something, there's some expression about it, but it's where it gets really, really tough, right? Like, you face the demons, the challenges arrive, what I call the soul roadblocks. And we're going to be looking at those in the upcoming workshop, Align with Your Soul Purpose, on August 13th and 15th, right after actually this first eclipse of the, well, I was not of the year, but the first, the next eclipse. Let's just say we're going to be eclipsed, a solar eclipse in Leo, on the new moon in 2 weeks. And so right after that, I'm going to have this Align with Your Soul Purpose, because this is where we really dive into those ideas of what are the things, what are the stories, or a lot of you are familiar with the term, the limiting beliefs. What is preventing you, like a roadblock. Like, I actually see a road in my mind's eye, right? Like, we're all on this road. And my gifting, my special secret magic, is to align people with their soul roadmap, which is this mystical wisdom of the Magi, right? Scientifically calculated to you based on the solar energy of your birthday. So everybody has a roadmap, and helping you align with the higher energies, the higher vibration expression of your cards versus the low side. So, and then also to recognize when you're out of alignment. What does that feel like? And how to get yourself back into alignment, back into the flow, into the joy, into the ease, into, the goodness of life, because we are not here to slog. Although I've spent many years of my life slogging through it, and, jazz hands if you have as well. So the initiation, the music that I played for the initiation is the beautiful Patti Smith from Scandal, The Warrior. And it is where we do, like, when we are facing our dragons, we do have to pull out that part of ourselves, that fierce, protective, like, no, I'm facing these battles. I'm going in as the warrior, bang, bang, right? And the question is, what are you being called, where are you being called to show up with bold courage? The courage of the warrior. And what old story are you willing to conquer? So moving through your own journey, just identifying where you are right now. What is serving you and what is not, what is limiting you. We did this really cool fire ritual, in hindsight, there's always a couple things that, after every live event and experience that I facilitate and hold sacred space for, there's always, almost immediately, I'm trying to give myself a little more spaciousness and a little more grace before I immediately are like, this is where you can improve next time. And I will just say that if you have ever had the experience of doing flying wishing paper, and you can see what that looked like, there is a reel on Facebook and Instagram where you can see the ritual that we did. I don't recommend doing it on carpet. It is intended for indoor use, but, carpet might not have been the best scenario. So, things that we figure out along the way, but it's the releasing of what's holding you back, like noticing what is in your way, what is the literal roadblock. For many of us, it's as simply described as fear. self-doubt, perfectionism, shame, and even just an unwillingness to change, which can be called resistance. So releasing what no longer serves you, because we are in this crazy, beautiful astrological month. And we talked a little bit about the astrology, how it is the closing of what's been called Barbault's basket. He was a French astrologer who died back in the 90s, early 90s, but he talked mostly about this astrological energy that we have been living through for the last couple of weeks, and that we will still feel the after effects of, even when the official basket itself has concluded, and Jupiter moves on. And there, as that shifts into the eclipse season, no matter what, we're going through collectively, like Aquarius represents the collective, the community, the bigger vision. It is definitely about future vision. It's technology, it's IT, it's all of that stuff. But as we move forward into these eclipse season, we have to face the dragons. I don't say we slay the dragons. I say we learn how to tame them and ride them, Avatar style. But it is really important that we acknowledge that, yes, there have been this beautiful basket of blessings. The full moon was conjunct with Jupiter, or the sun was conjunct with Jupiter on that full moon day, who just wants to amplify your radiant light in Leo. And that's so powerful. It's like, who are you called to be in your greatness, in your fullness, when you're not concerned about what other people are going to say? We talked about that, people pleasing as another one of those roadblocks. What is your special gift that you are here to bring, to contribute to the collective? How are you authentically showing up as you? That is part of the initiation. And then part 3 is the discovery. The discovery of your hidden gifts. The discovery of your gifts when you stop striving and you just come back into your center, when you go within. What is waiting for your permission to say, oh, it's okay to shine your light. It is okay to be courageously, authentically you, to let your freak flag fly, to show your special woo-woo magic if that's what you have, or, just the gift of listening, the gift of compassion. We all shared out gifts, and we all learned the word edification. That is a gift of my beautiful soul sister, Kim Harrison, to edify other people, to really showcase their gifts, to reflect back to another. The gift of music. What is your special talent? What is your weirdness that makes you unique? And on this journey, that's what I discovered. Part of my weirdness is the Magi. I was raised by a mother who fiercely honored birthdays, celebrating birthdays, acknowledging birthdays. It was very common for us to wake up. I'm going to share a birthday. I don't know why I know this and why it's lodged in here, but June 6th, Ann Kidd's birthday. Ann Kidd is like this woman who, when we lived in England, when I was like 4 years old, she was our flatmate or our next door neighbor or something like that. But June 6th is her birthday. It's locked in. And I know things like this, and rest in peace. She is no longer on this planet, but it is one of those that was part of my gifting, that birthdays always mattered to me. And then this system came to me in the darkest hours of my life. I was gonna say the dark night, but it's like the darkest years. Let's just be real. It's been years and years and years. 2020, 2021, 2022 was just like continuing to descend, and just like it all came down. But it's in that where I realized, I was like, I really have a gift to understand the Magi Card Science System and to help people understand themselves and see that reflection of themselves. So, what is your unique gift? What gives you the special sauce of you? Leo wants you to go for it. Leo season is like, shine that light. Be courageous, be brave, be bold, be you, and contribute to the collective in your own special way. After the discovery of gifts, part 4 is the return. We come home to ourselves. We come home to wherever we set off for. And for me, the coming home was literally coming home to a moon circle, because I hadn't led a moon circle in a very long time. My work has evolved, and it stopped being in the rhythm of new moon, full moon, new moon, full moon, and instead took a more expansive soul purpose approach. Like, what is your soul purpose? And a lot of the work that I do moved inside this container known as the Joyful Soul Circle, where I meet weekly with the members of this community, so we can do our soul work. We can look within. We can encourage each other when we are in that initiation, when it is really hard and scary and we feel alone. You're never alone. You got to look, though. You got to look for the helpers. You got to look. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. You have to look for what it is that you desire, and then courageously go after it. Say, I deserve this. I'm worth it. It is all mine to step into and to have and to hold, right? Like, this is the work, and it can be playful work. In the Joyful Soul Circle, I like to think it's playful, because this week we were talking about the Six of Clubs. Six of Clubs, it's the 6th week of summer, and the Six of Clubs is all about the card of intuition. It is a karmic card. All sixes carry a karmic energy with them. It's a balancing with the club. It is the mental pursuit. It's how we communicate with other people. So it is this real balance, like, be very intentional with your words. And so we've been having a lot of fun in the Joyful Soul Circle, connecting the 6 of Clubs with the archetype of the Jedi Master Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. He has so much wisdom, and what we were unpacking in the Soul Circle as we looked at Yoda as the archetype of this card of intuition, of really being intentional with our speak, is the way in which Yoda speaks. He's result-oriented first, and then explains, like, what you need to do to get to the result. And so I invite you to go look up your favorite Yoda quotes, and our warrior goddess task or for the week was to pay attention to that word try. Just the word try. I mean, we threw in a couple others. Just is another one. I'm just, and you can minimize it, but pay attention to whenever you say, I'm trying to. Yoda says do or do not. There is no try. So do the thing or don't do the thing. Don't try, because try is saying, like, it's disempowering, right? Like, I don't know if I can do it. Who cares if you can do it or not? Like, try. I was about to say try. Do it. Do the thing. Do the thing. Take one step towards the thing that your soul is calling you for. You don't have to have it all figured out. In fact, there's so many unknowns still in my business and in my work and what is coming forward. And that's okay. That is okay to just trust that we are deeply held in this loving universe that really wants to grow and expand us. That is this Jupiter Kazemi with the sun in Leo. It's just like, shine your light. Be seen, be brave, be bold. A life worth living requires courage, authenticity, the relentless pursuit of joy and love and creativity and imagination. It's yours to claim, to own. And so I think I think that is the soul stories that I wanted to share today. So thank you so much for listening in. I have the intention this summer, every Friday, to come in during my lunch break here and just, share some of the things that have been coming up for me, because once again, I am really starting to understand and believe that it is through the stories that we tell our own courageous journeys, right? All the things that we do, the things that we excel at, the things that we fail at, often our failures are the greatest teachers. Like, we learn so much when we fail, and you don't have to have it all figured out. Just have a general GPS, a general direction of where you're being called, and take one step. Just one step today, one courageously authentic step towards that. And then another, and then another, and then gather yourself around a soul tribe who will support you through that, because I'll tell you what, there are going to be challenges. Just because you are on a soul aligned path doesn't mean that you are void of doubt and fear and all the roadblocks that come up. In fact, they're probably going to come along a little stronger, and they're going to be right beside you. And that's when you go within and you also lean on the people who can speak truth into you, get you out of the stories that you're telling yourself, like, who am I? Who's going to listen to me? Am I really that good? Whatever it is that you're telling yourself that is limiting you from giving your soul a chance to even express itself. Like, so often we stop ourselves before we're even started. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. This is definitely not the year, not the month, not the zodiac sign or energy to play small. This is like a phoenix freaking rising, right? Full moon rising, full circle. If you would like to know any more about your personal Magi cards, there are links in my bio where you can sign up for a soul purpose clarity call. And that's where we just hop on the phone for like 30 minutes. And based on your birthday, I will let you know what your cards are and just kind of reflect back to you what some of that energy means and how to best play your cards, because that's really what it's all about. We all have cards. We all have, we're all constantly creating and manifesting. So be the conscious creator, be the author of your story and the director of your story and the freaking star of your show, because otherwise you are unconsciously, subconsciously creating. We are always manifesting. The world that we see, the world that we play in, that we experience in the 3D is the direct result of the thoughts that we think here. And inside the Joyful Soul Circle this summer, we are examining those 13 archetypes of the mind. Next week is week 7, the midpoint of summer season. I'll have a lot to say about the spiritual number of 7 right here in Soul Stories next week. But for now, thank you so much for living. Yes, thank you for living, and also thank you for listening. And here is to love and joy and belief in your courageous story. Until next time, ciao for now.